Hi, I'm Hannah Sharif. I'm the director of Sense and Sensibility. I have been in love with Jane Austen since I was about 12 years old when I first discovered Sense and Sensibility. Actually, was the first book of hers that I read, and I was immediately amazed with the world. It was glittering the ton, but also the complexity of it, that there were these smart women who were witty and often the smartest women in the room. But not always recognized. And I found some pieces of myself in that began my long love affair with Jane Austen. And I've had the wonderful opportunity in my career to actually commission and develop a Pride and Prejudice with a colleague of mine. And to produce the world premiere of that show. And it was an extraordinary moment, I think, for me as a director to kind of merge my passion for Jane Austen with my passion for the theater. And so when I got the call, the opportunity to actually come and direct Sense and Sensibility, I leapt at it just to be able to come full circle to the book that opened Jane Austen's world to me, and to be able to bring that to the stage is just an extraordinary gift. I'm the Associate Artistic Director at Baltimore Center Stage, and it means that I have the wonderful opportunity to develop new work, to nurture projects, and to produce plays by artists that I believe in, and with artists that I'm excited to work with. And so I understand what it takes to make the kind of world move at a theater like this. And I have to say it's been an extraordinary gift to be able to be at OSF. I think that under Bill's leadership, this theater has really become a great asset to the field. And in doing the same type of work, giving great artists a platform, putting new work and important voices into the world, and bringing together a real diverse array of artists to bring the best of American theater to the stage. So I'm happy to be part of that. I would also share that one of the things I'm most excited about with this Sense and Sensibility is being able to put the world on stage. And so no matter who you are, I think you'll find yourself in the characters and in the people on the stage. And I think that's also a gift. Sense and Sensibility actually follows the journey of two beloved sisters, Marianne and Eleanor. And we meet these sisters and Margaret and their mother, Mrs. Dashwood, just after the death of their father, Mr. Dashwood. Now, what we understand about England at this time in the intense patriarchy is that much of the estate is entailed, which means that it has to be passed down through the male line to the closest male heir. Mr. Dashwood had a son from a first marriage that is seemingly estranged from the family, who comes in with his wife and takes over the estate. And so the Dashwoods find themselves gently impoverished with nowhere to go, a fall from the grace and the life that they knew. And we actually go on a journey with these women through their experiences with love and heartbreak, and trying to define themselves in a world that is suddenly confusing and desperate and in disarray. There have been many adaptations of Jane Austen's work. We've seen many movies, we've read books and other adaptations in different cultures, and certainly for the stage, there have been hundreds of adaptations of her brilliant work. What I love about this adaptation is that Kate Hamill has brought all of herself to it. It has a very contemporary 21st century edge. It's got whimsy. Kate described it to me as the Muppet version of Jane Austen's work, which brought me great joy. But really, when I look at the work, I think about the heart of these women being so present. And it is a runaway train. You cannot sit back from the very moment the play opens until the end, where we get a wonderful, fun, funny, energetic look at the world that also lifts the stakes. And I think that that's really important in this work, that in addition to being able to ride the roller coaster of the emotions of both the women and the men, that we also get a very clear look at the stark reality for women at the time. We are setting it true to period, both in costumes and set. And I think that one of the wonderful things about Austen's work, and the reason that we have fan clubs and purists that have followed her for 100 years, is that there's something very present about the reality and the humanity of these characters. And I think that what I love every time I see a new adaptation of Jane Austen's work is that everyone's viewpoint in really elevates and lifts the sense of the human questions and the human journey, the desire to be loved, the desire to be seen, the desire to be valued. And each of our characters, namely our two leads, but every other character in the play wrestles with those same questions and desires. And I think that Kate has brought the wit and the energy that we respond to with our 21st century sensibilities, with the beauty and the glamour of the period. You know, I think that actually, I think it's very interesting. I think that men think of Jane Austen as like the epitome of chick flick, you know, or the chick novel. But what I actually think is really wonderful about this adaptation is that it doesn't come off as a play that's just for women. I think men will find themselves really engaged, and it's a ruckus good time in many ways. I think it's a great date night show. But I actually think that there are access points for everyone, and that you can at times think of the turn of the century as being a bit staid, and in fact, there's quite a bit of scandal to the time in the period that is approached with irreverence in a way that is charming. I have had the wonderful opportunity to spend time with our playwright, and I think that she's an extraordinary mind, and that her ability to take the nature and instinct of Austen and this world and really transcribe it in a way that connects on a kinetic level with who we are in the 21st century, with our 21st century sensibilities, is really amazing. And that there is an energy and the force with which the show hits the stage, the runaway train of it, that I find to be incredibly compelling and challenging. And I am delighted to be working on this play with her. And I think that the production will both delight and move our audiences in the way that only the best of our work does. So I'm just extraordinarily excited and proud to be part of this process.